Hey y'all, my name is Annemarie. I am the founder and creative director of Pursuing Compatibility. We use a genuine and dynamic approach for strengthening relationships, dating, and society. Ooh, dum 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 dum. So some of you might be thinking, what is this? This sounds fascinating. So here's my story. Okay, once upon a time, there was a little creative blonde genie that lived in a shoe. I'm just messing with you. Part of that's true. Okay. But basically, it comes down to a story of going from dolls to ducks. Yes, I used to talk from dolls to ducks. That is absolutely correct. So what is Pursuing Compatibility, basically? We are a fusion of entertainment, education, technology, digital arts, and encouraging mental health. Ooh, that sounds interesting, right? So what does this all mean? Basically, as a founder and creative director, my job is to assess society's issues and think of creative ways to make it better. That sounds fascinating, eh? But basically, I firmly believe that creativity is the solution for sustainability in a global society, because I think that we are failing as a global society with relationships with each other in all levels, basically. And this can relate to divisiveness, from perceptions to perspectives to so many various experiences of why we are the way that we are and why it's not working. So I'm out to prove that creativity is the solution, and I'm going to prove it to people every step of the way. So currently we focus on loneliness statistics, helping the divorce rate, easing heartbreak, and improving society's issues in other areas. That will happen down the line. So how was it fully created, some of you might be wondering. Every little life experience that I've experienced in my life is actually a huge inspiration for my company. And it's funny, I never even thought about it until recently. But it's really true. And of course, I mix it in there with authentic research and collaborating with other people. So what are my various different life experiences, you might be wondering? That's a really long story, guys, and that's going to take like a longer session to get into. But I will summarize it in little main points for you. Number one, the first point is the arts. Oh yes, I grew up in theater since I was 6 years old, all the way up to 17 years old. That's correct. That was a humongous influence, which influences the entertainment aspect. Big influence was also, I was actually one of the few white teenagers in all black theater, actually. The director was amazing. She was trying to be more inclusive. Everyone was amazing. They encouraged me. They embraced me. There's a few other white people in there, but I was very much one of the few there. And I loved it. It was a great experience. That was definitely a cultural influence. In addition, my mom encouraged me to get involved in artistic classes and other artistic activities, which eventually led to adulthood, which led to me graduating with a Bachelor of Arts degree in graphic design. Originally, I wanted to be a fashion designer, which I might eventually do that, but I basically chose to do a Bachelor of Arts degree in graphic design. Cool, huh? Point number two, growing up and also with early adulthood, I struggled a lot with anxiety, some depression, and some mental health issues. And even I was suicidal at some points in my life. So when I was young, I was an extremely hard worker, and I struggled with school, and I half joke, half serious that it was a freaking miracle for me to graduate high school and college, I tell you. I worked my tail off. So that part I'm not exaggerating. But that's a huge influence of why I encourage mental health with my company. Point number three, I lived abroad for 9 years. I spent 7.5 years of my life in South Korea teaching English as a second language, influencing students. It was a great experience, huge cultural influence to my company. And I also spent 1.5 years in Canada. Oh, you Canadians like to say a boot and a boot, eh? That was kind of interesting and fun and enlightening. And with every international experience that you have, there's going to be good experiences and there's going to be bad experiences. And that's just part of life, eh? Right. Also living abroad, I independently studied cross-cultural communication and conflict resolution. So I wanted to add that in there. And also living abroad made me very humbled. My family background actually of ancestors immigrated. So my great-grandparents immigrated from Italy to escape poverty for better opportunities. So when I lived abroad, I realized, wow, like I have a lot more respect for what they went through. Point number four, I faced multiple economic devastating setbacks. The economy is a massive influence to my company. I'm a millennial. I was impacted by the recession. And more than once, multiple times. I think a lot of people can resonate whether you're a millennial or you're not. Economy is huge. It's humongous, and I firmly believe that the reason why we have the lack of qualified jobs is because a combination of overpopulation and economy, and how we're doing the economy, and why it's not really working. And I am, as a creative leader that's very fierce and driven, I am highly determined to be studying this in the future and focusing a lot on how we can improve the economy with creativity. Because again, I firmly believe, and I know in my heart that creativity is seriously the solution for sustainability. Because America keeps on doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And creativity is seriously the solution. Point number 5, I faced the heartbreaking reality that being with a partner for 8 years was not the right fit. That was pretty devastating. He's a very dear friend of mine. I will never talk bad about him. Do we have our problems? Yeah. But is he a really good person? Yeah. He's an extremely good person. He's a dear friend of mine. I can always rely on him if I need him. And he will always be a part of my heart. Starting over sucks. Our divorce rate is extremely high for a reason. And a big inspiration of my company was this experience. Going through this evolutionary, spiritual, and realization of wondering, how did I get here? Was it right? Was it all wrong? And there's so many aspects of dating and relationships. And modern dating, I feel, isn't really working in what we're doing. And there's reasons why we're failing. And just because you get into a relationship doesn't mean that you're happy or that it's true. And also, I believe that true love is not complacent. Just because you get into a serious relationship or any relationship doesn't mean you just stop trying. That's ridiculous, and that's counterintuitive to society as a whole. So I believe that all connects, hence a big influence to pursuing compatibility. So that's pretty much summary of how pursuing compatibility came to be with my life experience. As you can see, it's a massive influence. Regarding the disability community, because some of you might be looking at me like, well, you're on the disability channel. Where are you going, Annemarie? Okay, well, basically, I feel that people with disabilities face a certain type of adversity, right? In America and globally, we have racial adversity, we have cultural adversity, we have immigration adversity, we have so many different types of adversities. And a lot of us have a lot more in common than we think. And so I think that we forget to talk about certain things. So pursuing compatibility is all about positive, creative inclusiveness, okay? So in other words, with the disability community, basically, do we talk about dating with disabilities? Do we talk about the issues with that? Do we talk about, is it even possible? Could it be possible? Is it not possible? You know, there's so many variables with those things. Obviously, it's possible for some people that do. They do experience it, but there's clearly setbacks for those that have disabilities, and there's so many different types of disabilities. So it depends on your definition of what a disability is. So some people might think that some people might think that you're blind, so you have a disabled area that you're blind, but you're perfectly fine in other areas. You see what I'm saying? So personally, I don't particularly like the word disability. I like the words phrasing of more disabled areas. You don't have legs, but your brain and your arms work. Okay? So there's that. And some people have ADHD or dyslexia or things like that. And so those specific things like that can be very confusing for some people, because that's not necessarily a disability per se. That's just you're wired differently and you have weaknesses. And just because you have weaknesses doesn't mean that you can't do something. You might need extra direction, extra explanation to get there. There's so many different variables of disability, so it's hard to really define what is a disability, what is a disabled area, and what is your weaknesses. You see what I'm saying? So I think there's a lot that goes along with disability, and hence why pursuing compatibility partly is a big influence of that, which I will get into later for sure. I think also with the disability community, I think a lot of people in the disability community get frustrated with pity, right? You get the pity, you get the unintentional pity, and you also get the encouraged pity, which is both not really helpful, really. So it's people with disabilities want to be treated equally just like everyone else, right? So that's an interesting thing that needs to be brought into light, which Pursuing Compatibility hopes to address in a very creative, positive way. which a lot of people wouldn't even think about. The point is I think that we do not pursue compatibility properly. What do we pursue exactly in our community? Do we pursue getting along? Do we pursue understanding each other? Do we pursue conflict? Do we pursue putting each other in each other's shoes? What do we pursue exactly? And I think that the way that we go about things in our society is wrong. Hence why I believe creativity is the solution, and why I believe pursuing compatibility is driven to come out on top, because I'm awesome. I'm just kidding. No, seriously, I'm silly. I am the genie, but I do take my job incredibly seriously, and I'm determined to be taken seriously by the public, and I have a point to prove, and I will prove it to people every step of the way, and I will do whatever it takes to prove it. Because I am happy to help, and I'm passionate about what I do and why I do it. Okie dokie. So there'll be lots of creative surprises your way coming, and don't worry, I got plenty of magical genie powers that will be on your way. If you're interested in collaborating with me, with the disability community or other communities, please do contact me at pursuingcompatibility@gmail.com. Also, please check out our YouTube channel and podcast. My podcast is available. I am officially part of the Transform You Media Network. Marcus found me 2 sponsors already before we officially launched. We are part of Spotify. You can find my podcast on Spotify and other audio areas. We will soon be on Apple, incredibly soon, if not already. And it's very, very exciting. Pursuing Compatibility is starting to explode all over the internet. Because that's my job, is to bring Pursuing Compatibility properly as a society. To bring certain things to light that people wouldn't even think about, because they'd be like, oh wow, that's kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? So creativity is the solution, people, because it's fun. And you can please do follow Pursuing Compatibility on, like I said, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook. Email me again, pursuingcompatibility@gmail.com, if you'd like to collaborate. I will soon be on other media platforms. My full name is Annemarie Sheridan, the founder. I just go by Annemarie normally. You can find me on LinkedIn there. Also, please do check out my online shop at www.pursuingcompatibilityshop.com. You will find a lot of inspiring products to help you feel inspired, that they don't have to be the only ones going through struggles or loneliness or whatever you're going through. You don't have to go through it alone. Okie dokie. And also check out our GoFundMe page at Build, Love, Improve Society. We are currently trying to raise money and fundraise aggressively, assertively, to prove to the public why Pursuing Compatibility has magical powers, and determined to help society with creativity, as well as help the economy. We are massively passionate about helping the economy due to my personal experiences with the traumatic economy and why we don't have enough qualified jobs, and what can we do about it. Okie dokie. All right, so that's pretty much all, and I will always be your genie, and I've never been a meanie. Get it? Yes, I was a little genie in a little shoe. So I hope to hear from you soon, or hopefully you will follow me, Pursuing Compatibility, and join in our venture of pursuing compatibility properly. Okie dokie. Sayonara and peace out. Sayonara. Bye.